Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel here today. Um, yeah, it's a sunny day here, so this is a great spot for me to be sitting, chatting with you guys today. And today we're going to be talking all about winning contracts outside your state. And this topic came to me because I had someone recently asked me about winning contracts outside of the state. And so I wanted to make sure I answered that question. And I thought I would do a live in order to share that, because if they had that question, then I'm pretty sure some of you had the same question about what do you do when you win contracts outside of your state. And so his question was exactly, what do I do if I win a contract outside of my state? Do I have to move to that particular state? And so the answer was not necessarily. So let's dive into this just a little bit about if you win a contract, say outside of your state, or maybe you win a contract somewhere where you can't drive back and forth every day. It just doesn't make sense to do that. So some of the things you want to consider uh, in bidding contracts that's outside your state, where you may have to travel or relocate. It just depends. So here's the thing. The first thing you have to look at is, what are the contract requirements? So if the contract is not requiring that you move, then you don't have to move. And when I say that, they're not going to tell you to move, but depending on what the requirements are, like if you have to be on site every day, or say you're doing a new, you're running the whole IT gamut, computers and wiring and all that stuff in a new facility for a government project, and it's going to take months, and you're going to actually perform on it, then you may have to relocate for a short period of time if you're going to do it yourself, right? The other thing is, say on a construction project or something like that, if it entails, it's going to take you, 3 6 months, a year, or whatever, to deliver the project, and you're going to be there every day, meaning they have a requirement that maybe a PM or a superintendent from your company have to be on site every day. And if that's you, then you have to think, will you move? Now, these decisions should be made prior to bidding the contract. You need to know what your game plan is before you even bid the contract, so that if you win it, you're already prepared. So let me tell you how to prepare and make the decision on what that will look like. So again, in essence, no, you do not have to move because you won a contract out of state. Now, one of the things I walk my clients through is, we look at your business preferences. And so one of those things are, where do you want to work on projects? Some people are fine with staying within their state or within their city, or whatever their local area is, and they're okay with that, which is cool. It's your business, your decision, but you need to know that, so that when you're looking at contracts, if it says is in a different state, then that's a no-go. You wouldn't bid that, because you already know you don't want to travel, you don't want a project out of state. Okay. Now, if you elect and say, I'm okay with traveling for a certain period of time, then in bidding, you need to look at the contract and see what the requirements are. And within whatever you do, you should know how long it's going to take you to deliver, right? And then you again determine if that's something you want to bid, if it's within the range of the time frame that you're okay with being away from home. Now, here's another thing I also say consider. If it entails being away from home, you have family, kids, and things like that, you want to consider all of that and how feasible it is for you to be away for extended periods of time. So as you're looking at your business preferences, that should come into consideration. Okay. Now, if you say, yes, I'm going to be at projects outside of my state, I'm cool with doing that. I'm going to, you know, um, all over the US, for example. And if you say, okay, if it makes dollars, it makes sense, I'm going to go. That's my motto, right? So if it makes dollars, it makes sense, we'll figure this out. But if you know that's the case, then you need to start preparing. Now, if you're just starting out, you can't possibly say, okay, I'll do all the 50 states and use this, what I'm getting ready to share with you. But I would say, if you're like, I'm in Texas, so I would take my surrounding states, and Texas is huge, so keep that in mind. But my surrounding states, like maybe Oklahoma, I could do Louisiana. I think we have Arkansas, but the states that are right around me, I might say, okay, I'll start there and then I'll branch out again, right? As I build up what I'm getting ready to share with you. And then I'll branch out again even further. So, push out to the neighboring states, get this done, and then push out to the neighboring states of those states like that. That's one way you can do it. The other way, if you know who's your customer, you'll know where they're at. And then you can strategically do it within those various states versus just, your neighboring states going that route. So you have two different ways you can do that, right? Know who your customer is. And then within those particular states, because you'll know where they're at, you can start building what I'm getting ready to share with you. Or if you don't know and you don't know how to do that, you can just, neighboring states, that kind of thing. So if you're going to be bidding outside of your state, here's what you want to do. Pick the states, or, know the states, however you come about the states, and then start looking for independent contractors, subcontractors, so other companies, right? If you're going to use day laborers, whatever that looks like, if you're going to use a staffing agency, but start looking for places and people that can help you facilitate delivering the project in that particular state. And the reason you want to do this and be proactive instead of reactive is because you want to start building relationships and have a database built so that when you win a contract, you're not scrambling trying to find people to fulfill this particular project. Now, I know that might sound crazy, but I've had people do it. And let me tell you, and it's not a great place to be. So here's what you want to do. Start building a database. You can use something like whatever system works for you. There's Streak, which works with Gmail. There's Pipedrive, which I love. And I like Streak too. So I'll put the links below after the video. But you have Streak, you have Pipedrive. I can't remember the other one. But those are two that you can use. So I'll put those in the comments. So you can use Streak, Pipedrive. And so those are two that you can use to start collecting independent contractors, even employees, people that may want to, come work for you as an employee. If you're looking at staffing agencies, if you're looking at day labor places, other small subcontractors, things like that, or even prime contractors for that matter, because you may want to partner on it, right? But start building a database of people in the various areas of where you plan to do work. So you don't have to necessarily move. It just may entail you having to go out for owners meetings and things like that. Okay. So it's not that you necessarily have to pick up, move your whole family and things like that because you want a project in a different state. You just have to be prepared for it and have the manpower to deliver the project no matter where it's at. Now, you could also take workers from wherever you're at. If you have people you're already working with, you can take them and have them go to the location, just depending on time frame, how long it's going to be, because you got to pay per diem, and if it makes sense financially to do that. And if that's the case, and you're going to do that, then you should make sure and know that beforehand so that you include that cost in your bid, because you don't want it to come out of your profit. So that's why you need to have these things prepared and know what strategy you're going to use before you start bidding the contract. I have a lot of times where clients are always, sending me stuff they want to bid, and they're not ready to bid. They don't even know what strategy they're going to use. And I mean, most of the time I know whether they're ready or not, but I'm just going to ask you some questions so that you can discover for yourself where you're at in that process and what you're going to do. So for you guys that are here listening, for those of you that are watching the replay, when it comes out, prepare, just know what you're going to do. And whether it's out of state or in state, this works. And this is something you should be doing, is building your database. Okay, building your database, because I know you may say, oh, I have this person over here or this person over there. But what if they're working on another project and then you're stuck? So you always want to have more than what you need. So just start building your database, building your database, building your database. It's going to come in handy, especially as you start to grow. And then maybe you have multiple projects running at one time. Then, the 2 or 3 people that you know now is not going to be enough. All right. So I'm going to open it up for questions. If you guys have any questions, you can definitely pop them over here in the chat, and I will answer your questions. You have any questions on what we shared? If you're watching the replay later, you can definitely pop your questions in. I'll see those as well, and I'll come back and answer those. So if you guys have any questions, definitely pop them in below, and I'm okay. I'll answer those questions for you. Any questions? All right. I know sometimes there's a little bit of lag, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to see if you have any questions about working out of state, about building your database, or maybe what system you should use, or even if it's within your state, you should still be building up a database, especially if you're going to either sub out some of the work or if you need to build up your employee base. And here's the thing, you don't necessarily have to have employees to necessarily deliver a project, which is more overhead, but that's a conversation for another day. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, I'll do the dance just for a moment to see if you have a question, but I'm only going to dance for so long, waiting on questions. Okay. So Shaky, hey, what's up, girl? Do you have to be registered in that state to do work? Right. To do business there. I got you. So if it's on a government project, no. Or let me, because it could be state government. Let me say federal government, no. You don't have to be registered in that state. Now, sometimes on your state projects, it may be required. Again, when you look at whether it's a solicitation, RFP, RFQ, whatever it is, however they put it out, the requirements are usually going to state if it's required that you live in that state or be in that state. So for federal projects, the answer is no. You can rip and run all up and down the coast if you want to. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Well, I'm excited anyway. I've been working on it's it's a lot of work, but I'm excited about it and what I have coming out here in June. I'm really, really excited. And so I enjoy that. So you'll get more information down the road, but I'm definitely excited about that. Shaky say thanks. You are awesome. Well, thank you. You're awesome too. You guys are over there rocking, getting that stuff done. I see you. All right. Anyone else? Any questions? All right. Well, that is it for this week. Definitely come back next week. We'll do another live with another question or another topic. Who knows what it'll be. But if you have any questions that you would like for me to cover on a live, you can definitely put those in the comments as well. Or you can always go to my community or my YouTube channel and, put if you have a question or a topic you would like for me to cover during a live, definitely pop it in there. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Show some love there and hit the bell if you want to be notified when I go live so you don't miss out. Okay. Hey, you were here last time, LaTroy. Did I say your name right last time? I can't remember. Last name Curry. So you're saying once you've registered with Sam, yes, you can go all over the place. Because you have to remember the federal government has locations throughout the US, Iraq, Baghdad, I mean, you name it, all over the world. And as long as it's a United States federal government piece of land, facility, whatever you're working on, yes, you can through being registered in SAMS and bidding their contracts, yes, you can go anywhere and not necessarily have to move. Now, if it was in Iraq, Baghdad, or something like that, that's a long ways away. You might want to go and make sure people are doing what they're supposed to do. And here's the other thing. Let me just share this with you with having projects out of state, and maybe you just go back and forth for the owner meetings and things like that. uh, you want to have confidence in the people that you have working for you out there, that they're going to get the work done, because at the end of the day, it's your contract, it's your responsibility, and it could kill your business really quickly if they don't deliver as promised. So keep that in mind. That's why I say build your database now before you need it, because you want to start building the relationship. And this Thursday, I have a video coming out talking about building relationships and how important that is. So you might want to make sure you check that out. Okay, good. I said your name right. Awesome. I feel so much better. I hate to pronounce people's name wrong. All right. Any other questions before we wrap this up? Any other questions? I wonder what the delay time is. I'm curious. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming to join me live. Those of you that are replay viewers, thank you for checking it out. Don't forget, like the or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Hit the bell. You'll get notified when I come live. If you have any questions or anything you'd like for me to cover in the lives, you can put that in the comments below. And I will see you guys back here next week. Bye for now.